everyone, welcome. Rachel here from Beads by Verchiel, bringing you at long last 4 weeks starting from tonight, sessions on bead embroidery. So it's great whether or not you're a beginner or perhaps you're looking for some inspiration and you've done some already. But as always, please do give me a thumbs up. Do pop me a note in the comments so I know you were present with me. So let's see who's going to be first in the house with us tonight. Now, I will upload this onto YouTube as well so that you can refer back to it. And also we've got people that want to watch that haven't got access to Facebook. Trisha is first in the house. Hello, Trisha. Followed by Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Hope you're both doing well. I've got so much to cover in tonight's tutorial, but I'll just wait for everybody to hop on over. So I think I'm all prepared. Well, if I'm not, we'll bumble along as we go. Hi, Francis. How you doing? I'm armed with my cuppa. I've just managed to surface. I'm almost there with all of my craft store orders. I've just got a few left, which is a nice feeling. Hello, Janet. Hope you are well. Oh, I love your little circle. Is that for the it's International Beading Week this week? And every year I say, I'm going to do something, and then time just gets the better of me. So it is officially International Beading Week, unless I have missed it. Yes, I thought it was. That's a lovely, colourful symbol. It really stands out. So let me give you a little sneaky peek of what we're going to be covering. Now, tonight, I thought we'd start with baby steps for people that haven't done bead embroidery, and also many people that have done bead embroidery may not have done this. So we are going to be making some stud earrings. So that's doing peyote stitch around a cabochon. I haven't quite decided what order I'm going to go in with all of them, but I've got some samples to show you. So these samples I'm going to show you are all, you can make all of these pieces in the bead embroidery box, the bead embroidery starters kit. So this is hematite. So it's a teardrop hematite with metallic blue beads. Hello, Sharon. This one, I love this. Tree of Life. You know how much I like the Tree of Life. It's a Tree of Life cabochon. And again, you've got all the beads and the colours in the kit as well to make that. Also, you've got all the colours for this one. So really, when you learn all of the basics, you can actually make any sort of combination. You've also got a turquoise howlite teardrop in the kit with those seed beads to make that. So there's another ring. Oh yeah, the bracelet as well. It's kind of the bracelet, you might need a few extras to pop into that. Hello, Nora. Now, just to say that whilst I say it's closing at 5:30 for the giveaway, you've still got time to hop on over to the link. So if you've missed it, you just need to fill in the little questionnaire, because I'm going to choose a winner at the end. Unfortunately, I can't do it at the same time. I was hoping I could. Hello, Kevin. So let me show you what is in the giveaway. I'm also going to do a little giveaway solely for people that are in the live stream on Facebook as well. But to enter for this giveaway, like I say, just complete the link that's pinned to the top of this group. So you've got this goodie box, you've got instructions, photograph and written. You have got Tree of Life cabochon, some porcelain cabochons, cat's eye, 4 lots of seed beads including size 15s, a bead mat, thread, 10 and 12 beading needles, the glue backs for the earrings and the bails. Bit random, but we all need a tape measure, a bundle of base foundation to stitch onto and backing, and scissors. So if you've missed it, go on, hop along, do the survey in the link. Oh, nearly knocked my drink, to enter, and then make sure you come right back. Okay, so like I say, tonight we're going to be doing the earrings. So I want to show you some of the kits that I've just put online. Let's start with the full kit. So this was shown on the craft store as well, and it's £29.95, and I'm doing free P&P as well this week if you want to buy it from me. So you get it all wrapped like this when it comes, and even if you've done bead embroidery, it's still a real delight to receive. So again, you've got the instructions to make a peyote cabochon, you've got Nymo, beading needles, brooch backs, bails, then you've got lots of seed beads. So you've got the terra orange and red, bright blue, silver lined, metallic blue, the mauve, the green. So these are all used in the samples. 3 porcelain cabochons. These are the boxes. So we've done the giveaway now. These are the boxes that you can buy. Tree of Life cabochon, hematite, turquoise howlite, 3 pink cat's eye, 2 grey cat's eye, more seed beads, a bead mat, random colour bead mat, your beading foundation and your backing. So all of that comes to you in the post, and that's £29.95, free P&P. Now if you don't want to buy anything too big, but you'd like to do tonight's with a matching pendant, here's what we've got. I think they're £14.95. So we've got a purple one. So in the purple one, you've got 2 purple cat's eye for the earrings, a matching porcelain cabochon, an oval one for the pendant, 3 grey, and then you've got your gunmetal purple seed beads, silver seed beads, and size 15 smaller ones. You've also got a metre of chain, the glue on backs for the earrings, the bail and the findings. You've also got the foundation, the backing, 2 different size needles and 5 meters of thread. So that is in the £14.95 kits. So that's the purple one. Then you've got the baby blue and the pink. So again, you've got all those accessories, and so the backs, the chain, the faux needles, and I've also got one in yellow and green as well. I don't think I necessarily captured that well on camera. So that's what I've got at the moment. I've got lots more to put on. So if you're already a bead embroiderer and you just want the cabochons and the seed beads, bear with me. I've got lots of cabochons to put on, but all in good time. So those are the kits that we've got at the moment. Like I say, I will be doing a giveaway for everybody joining me live tonight. So do make sure you pop a comment. Now, are we all set? I thought I'd do this totally from scratch tonight. So we're going to be making, if you missed the start, we're going to be making cabochon earrings, but in blue. So this is the colour of the baby blue and pink. Oh, Janet's done her first bead embroidered studs. Fab. Perhaps you could put them in our group. Right, so I've cut the thread. I'm using Nymo. You can use a suitable alternative. I'm using a size 12 beading needle because that goes through the size 15 seed beads and the 10s. So it's always recommended you have a 10 and a 12 available. I'm going to tie a triple knot. So to do that, I just wrap that tail 3 times into the centre, pull it and have it at the bottom. And I thoroughly recommend having some beading wax where you just run it along the grooves. Oops. And what that does, it's only £3 for it. What it does is it helps to stop it fraying, and it also helps to stop your needle from coming unthreaded. Okay, so I am going to zoom in, but before I do that, how do you tell what size your needle is? Or do you just try? Yeah, you just got to try it on the seed beads. Do you know what, Trisha? I'm doing this all the time, is I mix all of mine up. I just have to test it before I go and do any demonstrations, and then find that my little seed beads get stuck. Now, let's start off with glue. You can try using like your glue gun, but try it on a sample piece first. I recommend using E6000, not E6000 Plus, because E6000 Plus, it might be good for some things, but bead embroidery, in my opinion, it is not. I find it quite slimy, and I find it quite a long time to set, and even then my cabochons don't always set. So E6000's brilliant, normally about 5 to 10 minutes to be able to work it. You should leave it for 24 hours, but to actually work around it, only about 10 minutes. So what I normally do is I have like a laminated A4 sheet, and I just use that, just put some of the glue on the top, have a cocktail stick or something like that available. And my wisdom, I haven't really got a stick for it, but anyway. And also make sure that you cover everything well. Do you know what? I'm such a mucky pup. I really am. I'm a nightmare with glue. Anyway, I'm going to zoom in and get started. Yeah, absolutely, Sharon. Didn't like E6000. Yeah, it might not smell so much, but it's not as great. Make sure I keep my hair back. I don't want to glue my hair. Been there, done that. Right, let's zoom in, but please do ask questions as we're going. Right, so I've done one earlier, which is fine, but I think it's really important to actually see it from the outset. So pop it onto a plastic bag or something like that so that it doesn't seep through to your bead mat. So use a cocktail stick. Don't saturate it, because if you put too much on there, what you'll do is you'll actually glue the sides of the bead embroidery foundation, and you'll actually struggle to get your needle through. So pop that on there like so. Now with the earrings, you don't actually need much, so if you want your foundation to go as far as possible, then I would recommend just small bits. Okay, oh dear. So that's, can you see it's stuck already? I think if that was E6000 Plus, it would probably glide off. That's how quick it is. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to actually use this one. Now, it may vary slightly what I'm going to teach you today in comparison to the actual pattern itself, only because it's much easier on camera and it's good to show you a variety as well. So we're going to start with size 10 seed beads. So you're going to come up from the back of the foundation about 1 millimetre from the side. So choose whatever colour you want to use. Work in even numbers. I'd recommend working in 4s around here, because working in odd numbers, your peyote stitch that we're going to do will not work. So lay your 4 beads around the contours of your cabochon, and then after the last one, take a nosedive down. Now, before I do anything else, top tip, curve your edges, because this is going to really annoy me. Your thread seems to get stuck on the points. So if you cut those off, it just makes it flat. So that's what we've got. Turn it over and we're going to back stitch into the first hole. So that will bring you up at the start of those 4 beads. Push your needle through those 4 seed beads you've just added. So that's what we call back stitching and reinforcing. Reinforcing is where you go back through the seed beads. So add another 4 and lay those around. So I'd say with your non-dominant hand, hold the thread in place to help and take a nosedive down. Turn it over, go through the previous hole, and again that'll bring you up at the start of those beads. So reinforce, go back through, and then add another 4. Okay, so go down. And all of the bead embroidery, the animal kits that I do, they all use the same method. So, you know, it really isn't complicated. The most complicated part of this is actually doing the peyote. But, you know, just taking baby steps, then you'll see that it's actually not as complicated as it sounds. So we're going to lay 4 beads around there. And back stitch into the previous hole. Then reinforce, and then another 4. So you can see we're not going to have enough room for another 4. So, excuse me, my hands are shaking tonight. Back stitch, go through those 4 that you've just added. Now we're going to have to make 2 fit. What you can always do with your check seed beads is, because they sometimes vary in sizes, is if you need 2 thicker ones, pick 2 bigger ones, or if you've got a smaller gap, choose some slimmer ones. I know that seems silly, but do have a look in your pack, because sometimes they are slightly different. So we're just going to make sure that fits. So we're going to go back into the previous one. Now we're going to reinforce all the way around. So you push your needle as far as it will go and go all the way around. Now what this reinforcing does is it actually brings all of your seed beads together. It lines them up and it creates a lot. It basically makes it look a lot more uniform. Now the tail really is where we started, so if you lose track of where you are, that's a good gauge. Now a top tip, I wouldn't recommend doing reinforcing with size 15s, because what you'll do is, because they're so tiny, you will run out of space. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually start the peyote, and we're actually going to start it with size 15s, which are these little ones here. So we're going to add a 15, miss, so that the thread is coming out here. We're going to miss the next seed bead and go through the one after that. Now just let it lie on the side and don't pull too tight. So we could do that all the way around. This is where your thread starts to get attached to everything. So it will look a little bit messy at this stage, but that is quite normal. You know, don't lose heart with it. Miss one and go through the next one. Miss one and go through the next one. Now what this does, going down to the sort of size 15 seed beads, is in the next round you'll be able to see how it pulls it in, so it hugs around the cabochon. Now if you've not worked with a cabochon before or heard of it, a cabochon is a bead without a hole. So invariably cabochons have a flat back, which is what we place the glue on. Just make sure as you're going that you are missing out every other. Now obviously you've got different shapes, so what I'll try and do in the tutorials is we'll look at a teardrop shape and just look at how we manage that. Now we're coming to the end. I just want to make sure I've done everything right there. Yes, that's it. So on the last one, you should be able to step right up to the first seed bead that you added, which is coming out of the one that we've just come out of. So we step up. That's what we call stepping up in peyote. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start pulling in. So we're going to add one, and we're going to go through the one we added in the previous round. And we're going to pull that like so. Going to add one and go through the one that we added in the previous round. So it's a bit like a zip. It's kind of fitting them in. Now, if you struggle with your vision, what I'd suggest you do is get yourself really good lighting. Do it in the daylight. Don't do it at night time if you struggle. I always find if I do it at night time, quite often I find that perhaps I've got a different colour bead in there because it's I've not really seen it properly. So you can see how that starts to come together. Now if you've got a cabochon with a slightly deeper lip, you may wish to do another row after this, but really on this one, if I did another row, it would really cover up, I think, too much of the cabochon. Just keep checking to make sure I'm still on camera. So can you see how that hugs the bead? This is what we call peyote. So now we're going up to the last one. Now I know I said don't reinforce with a size 15, but this is the last row and we haven't got to fit anything else in. So I'm actually just going to reinforce that. So just be careful, if you pull it too much, what you start to do is to pucker the beads on the lower level. But what I might do in a second is just reinforce those beads again on the lower level. But can you see how that's hugging the bead? And by reinforcing it, you're just making it sit that bit better. Now, if you don't like the idea of the size 15 seed beads, then just miss this part out. Just have this bit at the bottom. So I am going to step down. I'm going to pop my needle through the base foundation, and just really to make sure I haven't got any pull on those seed beads at the bottom, I'm just going to reinforce it again. Now we've just got one more round to do and then we're done, and I'll show you how we glue on those cabochons. Now if you find that your beads are starting to raise at the sides in this round, what you could always do is work in blocks of 2 instead. But the good thing is with size 10 seed beads is you can really work them quite a bit. Okay, so that's what you've got, and if you look at the side, you're sort of embracing it. This is exactly the same process we follow for the pendant. So what we're going to do next is another little round. You could finish it at that if you wanted to, but I'm going to add some silver edging this time. Now it doesn't actually, you don't need to have even beads this time, although I wouldn't recommend working in any bigger groups than 4. You can, so we're going to back stitch. You can buy these earring backs in sterling silver if you have allergies. You could even get gold, I think. I would suggest you order the sterling silver from cooksandgold.com if you're in the UK. I'm afraid I don't know in the US, because I know we have some people joining us from the US as well. You could also order from Palmer Metals. But you know, it's a beautiful gift if you're doing it as a gift for someone and you want it to have sterling silver. Do you know, they're not actually that much. So we're back stitching. So you can see that these are really quick. What else could you use this for? You could use this for a tie-pin as well. You could use it as a, cut it out and have it as a little bag charm accessory, or you can keep going and make it into a fuller pendant. But we're doing baby steps this week because it's our first project. So I would love you to share any of your projects in the Beaders of Beads by Verchiel group off the back of our 4-week session. And you know, if you go off piece, do share it, because that's what it's all about, is giving each other some inspiration. And it's amazing, they don't take many beads at all. So in these beginners kits, you really should have a big selection to work with. So I'm going to show you as well how to cut out. I think I'm going to grab a Sharpie pen as well and show you a few top tips, show you how to tie off. I think we're probably going to be going for 3 to finish off there. Okay, so finish off, reinforce all the way around, and that'll line them all up. So these are the colours in the blue and baby pink kit. So there's no instructions in that particular bundle, but you shouldn't really need it. You know, you should hopefully find that you can do this alongside it. Right, there we go. So that's our little stud earring. You can also obviously get cabochons smaller. So bring it to the back, and to tie off, pick up just a tiny fraction of the foundation and go underneath the thread bar. Now do the same again and go through that loop to knot it. Then go along a little bit more, do the same again, and tie a knot. And I'd say do that in a couple of places. Don't worry about the back. Nobody is going to see the back. And just push that underneath and then trim. Now ideally you want some sort of scissors like this so that it gets into sharp edges. So let's trim off that tail. So this is how I would recommend you trim. I would say trim from the back, because if you trim from the front, what's going to happen is you are going to potentially trim into your stitches. It is a good idea to have a pre-knotted needle so that if you cut into your thread, all is not lost. You can just basically go back into that area and reattach it. So if you turn over, you want as little to be seen as possible. So just take your time, just taking little fractions off. There we go. So that's the back. What we're going to do now is, in my wisdom, I didn't cut any backing out, so I'm going to pinch it from this kit. Again, you're not going to need that much, very tiny amount. So let's just show you how we do the backing. Bear with me, I'm just going to put some glue onto my mat. And so I've got a little dab of glue and I'm going all the way right up to the edge. You don't want so much on it that it's completely doused in it. A little goes a long way, really. I'm going to turn that over to make the most out of your foundation, your backing. Put it up to one corner. Put a gentle press on there. Now, whilst we're just waiting for that, these are called scroll backs. Okay, so you've got the bit that goes into your ear there, and these are all in the little kits as well. So you pop glue either onto the, ideally on the back of there, and glue it that way. So let's just take a look at one so that you can see. So that's how it comes out. All right, so leave it for a bit longer than I have, but when you've finished, trim that off, the excess. Now, because it's a fairly neutral colour, this is okay, but I'm just going to show you anyway a little tip. Bear with me, I will be right back. I am still in the room to make sure David hasn't pinched my Sharpie pen. There we go. I think the metallics are always a good one to get as well, a good all-rounder. So, say for example, you have colour showing through and you really don't like the look of it. This is a bit of a top tip. So I've got a silver marker. What I'd say is do a test first on a little piece just to make sure that the colour's okay. So, and then what I'd do is go along the foundation, try and avoid scribbling the beads in, but you would be amazed at what a big difference this makes to your pieces. So that's just all coloured in. So there's the top tip. Now to finish off, I'm going to pop that on there and I'm going to grab my scroll back. And again, I'm just using my cocktail stick just to get some glue on it. And I'm just wiping that across there. So again, no great shakes, no huge amounts. Now more fingers and thumbs. Try and get it in the middle if you can. You can slide it along if it's not quite right, because when it dries, you should be able to peel any excess off the back. So push that down. And there you have your stud earring with your glue back. And that's the one in red. I've only just done one round on that one. I didn't do a round on the outside. Do you know the other thing you could do as well, just thinking about it, is if you wanted a pair of glamorous earrings where you've got the stud in there, you could have like a crystal dropper or something like that if you wanted to. Maybe it's a special occasion. So there we go. That's our first little tutorial. Let's see how you found that. Like my ring. Thank you. You can make, again, you can make this in the kit. I'm covered. I say I'm covered in glue. It's all dry, which is what's quite nice about the that E6000. Janet says she mixes her needles up too. I know, it's so easy to say, oh, I'd be really organised, but then, yeah, it doesn't really happen for me. Trisha didn't realise there were different size needles. Yes, I think there's another one that's even smaller, but the strange thing is that the hole size changes with the brands as well, because I've got some size 12 that are called a Deer brand, not as in they're really Deer, it's just DER, and they don't fit a 12, a 15 needle. Oh, Janet uses a cocktail stick, and so you take yours straight out of the tube, and I suppose there's less waste that way, isn't there? Good tip to stop your E6000 shoe lid getting stuck. Put a bit of Vaseline on the top. Oh, love that, Janet. Brilliant. Sharon says using different size beads gives a really different look too. She made the same thing in size 15s, then another in 10s, and it looks so different. It does, doesn't it? And, you know, there's nothing stopping you from using bigger beads. You know, if you struggle, then perhaps have a bigger cabochon with a bit more depth in, and start with bigger beads. Oh, hi, Wendy. What did I stick the cabochon down with? I used E6000 glue. Now, I bought this tube. Do you know what? It was such a bargain. I think it was £5 or £6 on eBay. If you do want the link for it, let me know, because I don't stock it. I think there's so many companies. There's not really anywhere in the UK other than on eBay that you can buy it. Oh, thank you, Tricia. She answered that for you. And yes, try a glue gun. It might work okay. I've done that before. Oh, no problem, Lydia. She's taking a dogs for a walk. Hi, Lucy. Oh, yes, the stuff that Sharon sells from the Body Shop. I know, Lucy, you're doing the Body Shop as well. It's beautiful. Chamomile. I use mine all the time. I shall go and rub some on afterwards. Chamomile cleanser, I think it is. Jackie, that's lovely. Thank you. Nora, Tracy, thank you so much. You've got that stuff for ages now, Janet. I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. Never thought about using bigger beads. Yes, that's right. Hello, Tricia. Tricia, a lovely Tricia from the craft store. Tricia's the lady that brings us the wonderful kits and whose bags I like to take with me onto the craft store. Tricia, I've got to watch your shows on catch up as well today, because I was busy packing. I hope your show went well, and I'll look forward to seeing it. So everybody, if you want to catch up on the rewind, Tricia was on the craft store earlier today. Tricia, it's time that I changed the bags, isn't it? I need to get a new kit from you. Kevin, called Alan on here, but I know it's Kevin, likes that about the Vaseline. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? I've got some grippers in my scissors that I use to take it apart. Yeah, it is makeup remover, isn't it? That chamomile. Vaseline, yes, I think. Janet, you always give us such wonderful tips. Oh, I'm so pleased you enjoyed it. How would you make that to a pendant? To make it into a pendant, Wendy, you would follow exactly the same process, just fill in more layers. These are sort of the same, but using different combinations, but we will cover doing a pendant as well. Someone shared that tip. Happy to pass on. Fantastic. So just to sort of recap, so we've done earrings tonight. I rather like those. I think I might have to do another pair because it goes with my peacock. I meant to say as well, if anybody does want to buy a peacock kit, I'm almost up to date now, so I can take orders from you. So do send me a message if you would like to order the peacock kit. Oh, bless you, Tricia. Thank you. That's so kind. I love your bags and doing all of your kits. I just, like you, I just wish I had more time. They do go with my peacock, don't they? Fantastic. I think that's it for now, but for tonight's giveaway, I can't remember if I said, but I'll choose one lucky live viewer tonight to win these. So it's a needle case keeper and the scissors, and if you completed the survey, I will announce the winner for the goodie box as well. Am I doing the purple peacock yet? Give me a week, Sharon, and I will have them ready for you. Yes, I will. So I just haven't had time. I was hoping to get time to do them on the show. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, any makes that you do, please share them in our group, Beaders of Beads by Verchiel. It's a private group. Oh, you love those scissors. They're really cute, aren't they? I think that's it for now. But thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you on Sunday. Take care.